everyone, I'm Ankita Pokhrel, an English faculty member at Dearwalk Seafield School. Today's panel discussion is inspired by Jonathan Haidt's book, The Anxious Generation, which explores how the childhoods have changed dramatically in the digital age, contributing to rising anxiety and depression among young people. Before we begin the discussion, let's start with a brief introduction of our panel members.
Hello, I'm Ananya Burtal from grade 9.
I am Suvani Karki from grade 9.
I am Ishani Manandar from grade 10.
I am Ishita Lal from grade 10.
And I am Anushri Acharya from grade 10.
Let's start by understanding what this great rewiring means for mental health. Ananya, could you explain?
Thank you, ma'am. Haidt points out the sudden and sharp increase in mental health issues starting around 2010. He writes that teenage girls in particular experience a dramatic increase in anxiety, depression, and self-harm. This coincides with the introduction of smartphone and social media. Kids are growing up with a portal in their pocket. Instead of playing outside or spending time with their friends face to face, he emphasizes that loneliness and social isolation are the root causes of depression. When kids spend more time online than in person, they lose social support that protects mental health.
Jonathan Haidt explains the downsides of social media. How does he connect it to the increasing depression among young people? Suvani, could you explain?
Absolutely, ma'am. Haidt states that social media often becomes a source of constant comparison. People post their best moments online, but behind the screen, it just creates unrealistic expectation. He also states that the more teens spend on social media, the more they are likely to develop anxiety and depression. And for girls, the risk is even higher on image-based platforms like Instagram. The pressure to look perfect and to gain likes can make teens feel worthless. So social media is not just a distraction, it's an addiction affecting how young people see themselves.
Let's now talk about the phone-based childhood, starting with the launch of iPhone by Steve Jobs in 2007. Ishani, can you explain what Haidt's talk about the shift, especially how it affects the boys?
Sure, ma'am. The introduction of iPhone in 2007 marked the beginning of a new childhood, one surrounded around smartphones. Haidt stresses out that boys have mostly been affected. Unlike girls who have been affected by anxiety and depression, boys have mostly been affected by problems like increase in disengagement and decline in motivation. Boys tend to indulge themselves and do other activities like playing games or having a full-time game session. Haidt refers this as crisis of motivation, where boys find immediate gratifications in their smartphones. It's like a digital trap that leads to social isolation and lack of purpose.
That sounds concerning. How does this connect to the idea of collective action for a healthier childhood?
Haidt stresses that early smartphone adoption is a collective action problem. Families feel pressured into giving smartphones to their children or the younger ones because the other families do so, even though they know it's not right. This results in the kids' mental health getting disrupted up. As a solution to this problem, Haidt suggests a collective effort with parents, students, guardians, teachers themselves, where they delay the use of smartphone at such a young age and change the norms, which does not make any family feel disadvantaged at all.
So Ishita, how do parenting and schools contribute to this problem?
Haidt talks about a shift where kids are overprotected in the real world but underprotected in the virtual world. Parents and schools monitorize their kids' physical safety but overlook the virtual safety. This creates a gap where kids are not guided properly in the digital area. Also, schools have cut down on recess and playtime to focus more on the academics and screen-based learning. Now, Haidt warns that this leaves kids without the unstructured playtime needed for kids to develop social skills and emotional resilience.
Can you explain more about the harms of a phone-based childhood, Ishita?
Sure, ma'am. Haidt identifies 4 key harms of phone-based childhood. First being social deprivation. Less real-life interactions lead to more loneliness. Sleep deprivation. Phones disrupt sleep schedules, which disrupts our mood and learning. We have attention fragmentation. Constant notifications will hamper our focus and deep thinking. Finally, we have addiction. Phones and social medias are quite compulsive, which reduces our time for healthy activities. He says that phones make it hard for kids to sit down quietly, focus, and be present with others, which is quite crucial for mental health.
So reflecting on the specific 4 fundamental harms, which one do you think has affected your generation the most, and how do you think we can begin to address it?
Honestly, ma'am, I think all four are interconnected, but if I had to choose one, I would choose the phone based childhood. We have grown up with screens in our hands, and it's taken away a lot of the unstructured and natural playtime that the earlier generations used to have. Because of that, we have become more socially isolated. Real conversations are fewer, and anxiousness around social interactions have increased. Plus, late night scrolling affects our sleep, and constant adult supervision makes us feel less capable of taking risks or facing failure. To start addressing this, I think we should start by consciously taking away a step from screens, especially social media. We should also start by spending more time with our friends and families, and just take a step away from screens. It's about entering a human world again by leaving the virtual world.
Finally, what solutions does Height offer, Ishita?
Height suggests cultural changes like delaying smartphones until high school, delaying social medias at least until age of 16, and then making schools phone-free area. And finally, we have encouraging unsupervised outdoor plays and real-world experiences. Height suggests and stresses that these changes aren't about banning technology from the real world and rather creating a balance so that the children can have a more healthier and balanced childhood.
Before we wrap up, Anushree, since you've read the book and reflected on its message, what one personal message you'd commit to taking in your own life to help reduce the anxiety that the youngsters have been facing?
If I had to choose one personal action to reduce anxiety in our generation, I'd start by spending more time with my friends, and I'd also be more conscious about putting my phone down because I've realized how social media can affect my mood. So I'd start by unfollowing pages that make me feel bad and surround myself with positive content. I also really believe schools should bring back recess and break time because that used to be the time where we could truly breathe. I'd also start by implementing phone free family evenings to bond with my family and reduce anxiety that I have. And it's all about the small steps you take to give big actions in the future.
Thank you, everyone. The anxious generation reminds us that while technology connects us, real human connection is what truly protects our mental health. Let's work together to create a balanced, healthy future. Thank you.